As any of you who, like myself, tuned in to the Nacon Connect live stream on their channel yesterday will have seen, we have, of course, a new trailer and much more new information regarding TDU 3 Solar Crown, including the location, new vehicles confirmed, details about the gameplay, and even a release date. A release date which, in my opinion, is actually strangely specific, September the 22nd, 2022. The reason why I find that a little odd is it's so far off that they didn't necessarily need to give us an exact day. They could have just said September. I mean, it's not bad, but it just means any potential delays would be disappointing. Now, in terms of what we actually see in the trailer, we immediately see a change from a gameplay point of view because the game is rated 18. Of course, because of the gambling with the casino in there. Previously, TDU 2 had a casino anyway, but it was only rated 12 because, of course, laws in that regard have become more stringent in the past couple of decades, as I believe they should. If only they would take that as seriously in games which suck money out of people like EA. Now, in terms of other things which we see in the trailer, we have a number of new vehicles confirmed: the Mercedes G-Wagon, the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, the BMW i8, which of course always has a special place for me. I absolutely love driving the car anyway in real life, and it was the first car I ever reviewed in Beards and Cars in the real world here on the channel. We also have Porsche confirmed, which is a huge deal, even though it may just gloss over that in most people's minds, because it's been such a long time since we last had TDU. It could be easy to forget that Porsche was never included. We had Roof, and Porsche was only ever like a mod added by the community. Now that Gran Turismo and Forza have Porsches anyway, in Horizon and GT with GT Sport getting the Porsche license finally after many years, it's easy to take that for granted, but that is kind of a big deal to have Porsche finally included. We only see the Cayenne, but doubtless they'll be using that to have more than just that. We also have, potentially, in the interview section of the video, a couple of other vehicles confirmed, but they're the real cars sitting behind the guys talking, so they're not shown in the game, but they are deliberately placed there, so I would consider it as at least an indicator, and we do see some footage of certain ones like the Lamborghini Urus. We also see an Alpine A110, a Ferrari California, more confirmation of Bentley, which of course I already talked about in a previous update video when we saw the Bentley key featured in another trailer, and possibly, if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, what looks like a lightweight Jaguar E-Type is sat in the distance behind the guy talking, like an Eagle E-Type GT kind of machine, a classic. So once again, the kind of vehicles you'd expect in a TDU game. Curiously to me, we've seen nothing to do with motorcycles yet. I really hope that motorcycles make a return, and I hope it's more than just the 2 or 3 that we had as DLC in the second game, because to me, much like Project Gotham, having cars and bikes was such a cool feature. And at the end of the day, thanks to the other trailers that Nacon showed, we know that they have motorcycle physics in development because of Rims Racing. So there's really no excuse to have some decent bikes with decent physics in this game as well, but that remains to be seen. In terms of the location, that is now confirmed. Now in Forza Horizon 5, we know it's Mexico, and in TDU 3, it is Hong Kong Island. Not too surprising, given where, big money is in the real world. A lot of movies are pandering to that kind of market now as well. It's not necessarily a bad thing if there's money to be made, and it's a new map at the end of the day. So even though the second game had Ibiza, I know, speaking for myself and maybe some of you, I still just preferred Hawaii anyway and spent most of my time there in career mode, so having this completely new, potentially massive location will be pretty cool. Again, kind of a Horizon vibe, but the map does look a little bit more Hawaii-esque than Ibiza-esque, which in my opinion is kind of better for the things that I preferred in the first and second game at least. In terms of the release date, we already discussed September 22nd, 2022, and a curious little point in the trailer which I found interesting, it may be nothing, but it may be an Easter egg, is that toward the end you see, there's a lot of shots of these, jewelry-clad people, and we also learn from the interview that you can represent one of 2 primary clans within the game, which is a bit cheesy. They are called the Streets or the Sharps. Basically just a bunch of overpaid rich kids with mummy and daddy's money. They both look like they're essentially representing that same demographic. but you rise within the ranks of each one and then race against the opposing clan as well. So something of a story mode, if you want to think of it that way, with of course the Solar Crown being the overall championship. I do hope that they restructure the career mode a little bit, to be honest, because in the second game, once you've completed events, it's kind of difficult to earn more money after that. You get big prizes, but the cars are so expensive, and the houses even more so, you can run out of funds real fast. And if the races lose a significant amount of prize money, as they did in that game after you've already won them once, it becomes very difficult to grind. And I hope that they don't use that as a way to kind of force you to use the casino, because I had no interest in the casino whatsoever in the second game. Now, in terms of the thing which I found interesting, it's that one of those shots of the characters is of a briefcase with a huge diamond inside it. I'm curious if that is just an Easter egg, or if it's a reference to perhaps you winning this diamond for like winning the Solar Crown Championship. Maybe that's like the ultimate prize, and then you can perhaps sell that diamond for a significant amount of money or something. Now, again, as I said, I may just be reading into it too much, but they included it in the trailer for a reason. Much like the pole dancers, I assume. But in terms of the trailer overall, it combines some footage which we'd already kind of seen with the Range Rover, etc., some new stuff. I like the lifestyle stuff in Test Drive, but I feel like they may be at risk of missing the balance. The first game was very well balanced in terms of having clothing and houses, but the cars and racing being the primary focus. The second game, with more clothing, more houses, casino, club, they kind of went more in the lifestyle, and I think the graphics and the cars and the physics suffered a little bit as a result. I know some people will disagree with that, but again, to me, it's a risk, and I'm very keen to see how that's going to go. Doubtless we'll see more footage closer to the time, because the game's still a ways off yet, but this is what we know now, and it's still cool to know a date, new vehicles, and of course, that location. So give me your thoughts down below. What do you think about it? Which of the three primary, big dog racing games that I'm going to be featuring on the channel at least are you most excited for? TDU 3, GT7, or Forza Motorsport, or I should say Forza Horizon 5. I think the answer's fairly obvious, but you never know. Some people I know are hardcore TDU 3 fans, or TDU fans in general, so tell me that down below, and of course, stick around on the channel for more news related to TDU. But until next time, I'll see you then, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.